Caroline Manzo, ain't no good gonna come to you. However, shout out to Dina Manzo because some good news to celebrate. Her ex-husband is now facing up to 46 years in prison. You remember the incident that happened where he was accused, but now is convicted of some terrible, terrible things that ended up her now husband being harmed.
Here we go now.
Welcome back to the Kempire channel, your number one source for pop culture news and music, entertainment, reality TV, and so much more. As always, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on breaking news when we go live or when we upload. So you know we've been following this story ever since it broke. So for those that don't even know why I'm even mentioning Caroline Manzo, you know, the sister to Dina Manzo, if you know Real Housewives of New Jersey, you know they have had a strained relationship for years. But when we found out that Caroline Manzo wrote a character letter for Thomas Manzo, her brother-in-law, okay, follow me, for those that have no idea who we're talking about, you just want to hear the story though. So they were married to brothers at one point. If you were a fan of Real Housewives of New Jersey, you remember when Dina Manzo was married to Thomas Manzo. We didn't really see him on the show at all, but we knew that they were together and that Dina was married to Caroline's husband's brother. Okay? But the chain of events that played out years later, what this man has been accused of doing, not wanting to let Dina Manzo go as she tried to move on with her now husband, and him allegedly involving mobsters. What in The Sopranos? All right, let me give you a full update, and shout out to our friends over at the Bravo docket. They're going to give you their legal expertise in regards to this, but I want to let you know what AP News is writing in regards to this conviction, because this has sat in the back of my mind wondering, what's going on with this Thomas Manzo situation? Have they convicted him yet? But I knew I would not miss it once the news was made, because it literally happened on Tuesday. So AP writes this. They said the ex-husband of a Real Housewives of New Jersey cast member was convicted Tuesday on charges he hired a reputed mobster to assault the woman's boyfriend in exchange for a free, lavish wedding reception. Really? A federal jury found Thomas Manzo of Franklin Lakes guilty of conspiracy, falsifying and concealing documents, and committing a violent crime in aid of racketeering activity. They said the ex-husband of the Real Housewives of New Jersey star Dina Manzo faces up to 46 years in prison when he's sentenced on October 15th. Federal prosecutors have said Thomas Manzo, who's 59 years old, you do the math, hired John Perna, whom they described as a soldier in the Lucchese crime family, to commit the July 2015 attack. So apparently he hired this guy, John Perna, in regards to the 2015 attack. This is how long this case has been going on. Almost 10 years since this incident. Oh, now I'm reminded. Thank you, AP. They said it was Perna's wedding reception was held the following month at a restaurant in Patterson, partly owned by Manzo, prosecutors said. Is that the brownstone? Probably. Yes, the same brownstone that you saw in the Real Housewives of New Jersey, the same brownstone that is owned by Caroline Manzo's husband. Perna pled guilty in December of 2020 to committing a violent crime in aid of racketeering activity and received a 2.5-year sentence. He was freed last August. So he's gone and served his time. Thomas Manzo hasn't even, well, he's locked up. Dina Manzo's boyfriend is now her husband, which we already know. But shout out to the Bravo docket. You know, we love our attorneys over here. So there is no way that I could not. There is no way that I could not rely on and give you guys an update in regards to their take on the situation. So they captioned this by saying, finally, some justice. Yes. So they say this, as we explained in an episode we released in the fall of 2023, Tommy Manzo was indicted for hiring maid member of the Lucchese crime family, John Perna, and an accomplice to assault Dina's now husband in exchange for a discounted wedding held at the brownstone. So in the court documents that they cite here, they said defendant John Perna was a made member of the Lucchese crime family and had a crew. Accomplice was an associate of the Lucchese crime family and was a part of defendant John Perna's crew. As an associate, Accomplice 1 was expected to carry out the orders of the defendant John Perna to commit criminal acts including drug distribution, aggravated assault, arson, and wire fraud. Defendant Tom Manzo, upset the victim 1, had an ongoing relationship with his former wife, planned to have a violent assault committed on victim 1 that would leave a permanent facial scar. So in or about early 2015, defendant Thomas Manzo, knowing defendant John Perna's membership in the expertise and intending that defendant John Perna would use that membership in furtherance of his request, offered to hold the reception for free at a deeply discounted price if defendant John Perna would commit or cause to be committed a violent assault on victim 1. So Bravo docket says the attack was committed by John Perna and his accomplice with a slapjack. So on or about July 18, 2015, based upon information provided by defendant Thomas Manzo, defendant John Perna and accomplice 1 located victim 1 and his vehicle and eventually followed victim 1 to a strip mall in Passaic County, New Jersey. Okay, so this is one incident. We even talking about the incident that happened at their home. All right. So they said attack victim in the parking lot. Defendant John Perna used a dangerous weapon, namely a slapjack, with the intent to inflict serious permanent injury on victim 1. Perna held his wedding reception at the Brownstone 1 month later. So defendant Thomas Manzo was a co-owner of a restaurant and wedding venue, the venue in Passaic County, at which defendant John Perna was scheduled to hold a wedding reception on August 16, 2015. Many of the guests invited to the reception were members of the Lucchese crime family. Lord. So Perna pled guilty back in December of 2020, which I said to you earlier, committed to committing a violent crime in the aid of racketeering activity and received a 2.5-year sentence. He was freed in August of last year. So he's been a free man almost a year now. So conditioned on the understanding specified below, this office will accept a guilty plea from Perna to the County 1 of the indictment. County 1 charges that from at least as early as May 1st of 2015 until at least August 31st of 2015. Perna did knowingly and purposely for the purpose of gaining entrance to and maintaining and increasing the position of accomplice 1 in a criminal enterprise. We are dealing with some serious mess over here in Jersey. So they said the defendant is hereby committed to the custody of the United States Bureau of Prisons to be imprisoned for a term of 30 months. All right. As I said before, John Perna is now out of jail. So supervised release, they said upon release from imprisonment, you will be on supervised release for the term of 3 years. So he'll still be on supervised release. So within 72 hours of release of the custody of the Bureau of Prisons, you must report in person to the probation office in the district to which you are released. So it goes on to talk about more details about John Perna's release. So Tom Manzo pled not guilty to his charges and then went to trial instead of taking a plea deal. A federal jury found him guilty of conspiracy, falsifying and concealing documents, and committing a violent crime in aid of racketeering activity. First of all, shout out to Dina Manzo, because I know for her, this might be such a sigh of relief. I know she still comes to New Jersey, but from what I hear, when she comes, she does it like on the low, because homegirl is very scared for her safety. So Bravo docket tells us that the concealing documents charge is for falsifying and concealing records related to the federal investigation of the assault. Tommy failed to turn over relevant documents in response to those subpoenas and deliberately submitted a false document regarding the wedding reception to the government, along with a false certification. In November of 2019, agents with the FBI executed a search warrant at the Brownstone restaurant. Can you imagine that we were still filming at the Brownstone and that was caught on tape? Bravo's probably like, damn it. and seized invoices for the August 2015 Perna wedding reception and other relevant documents that were not previously turned over. Tommy faces up to 46 years in prison. As I mentioned before, he'll be sentenced on October 15th. This situation, as I said to you before, we've been following this for a very long time. The details at this point, it's hard to even keep up with every single detail. But finally, as the Bravo docket said, justice? Maybe not. Maybe not. Yes, we'll see how much time he actually gets, but he's facing up to 46 years in prison. But I'm looking at you. I'm looking at you, Caroline Manzo. She wrote a character letter for her brother-in-law. And I get it. She doesn't have a relationship with Dina, but now we understand why you don't have a relationship with Dina. I have no idea if this has anything to do with it, but this would definitely be the cherry on top. Anyone else? Guys, as always, let's continue this conversation in the comments section. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on breaking news when we go live or when we upload. Thanks for watching.
Here we go now.